Elden Ring is a massive game, much too large to fully experience in a single playthrough. Even after hundreds of hours, many subtle details remain easy to miss, unnoticed by the majority of players. In today's video, we'll examine these overlooked details and theorize about their implications. Let's dive in. Near the base of the Erdtree, there's a pile of tangled branches, partially submerged in the central sea. They only appear after we ignite the Erdtree, near the end of the game. So, maybe it's a fallen branch, severed by smoldering heat. A plausible explanation, considering a few other branches were visibly affected by the flames as well. They appear to sag, their structure weakened by the inferno, as if they could no longer support their own weight. Maybe the fallen branch symbolizes the future of the Erdtree, should it continue to burn. Assuming the Tarnished fails to achieve one of the endings, perhaps it would keep burning until it's fully consumed. Based on the shape of the Shadow Tree's canopy, though, there's another interesting theory to consider. When the Erdtree starts burning, the veiling illusion concealing the Land of Shadow might be getting damaged as well. As the veil weakens, the upper branches of the Shadow Tree materialize in the lands between, revealing the physical location of the Shadow Realm. After Miquella's defeat at the Gate of Divinity, the DLC ends rather abruptly. Still, there's a few lesser-known bits of post-ending content, like the third ending to Mor's questline, for instance. Unlike the other members of Lada's company, he actually can survive past the main story, a rare outcome in the majority of playthroughs. When Miquella's enchantment breaks, his followers recover their free will. At that point, Maur solicits guidance from the Tarnished.
What should we do? Must we be sad forever?
The first two options lead to sad endings, either by strengthening his devotion to Miquella or by discouraging him.
Sad forever.
If we pick the third option, however, he remains indecisive and simply stays where he is.
I don't know either.
After Miquella's defeat, he gets a few new lines of dialogue.
My brood is no more. No one comes to visit. Not Lady Leda. Not Father Dane. Not Sir Ansbach. Not Freya. Not Tiolier. Not the Horn Scent. Where have they all gone? Thank you. No one comes to visit. Except you. I never change. Always friend to you.
Another bit of post-ending content is the final state of Saint Trina. After completing the main story, we find her collapsed on the ground, severed from her plant body. As the Empyrean alter ego of Miquella, it's possible that their lives were linked. However, the remains of demigods usually vanish when they're slain, which isn't the case here. Perhaps she simply entered a dormant state, resting in her own eternal slumber. Speaking of restful sleep, let's talk about today's sponsor, MANTA Sleep. Did you ever have trouble sleeping due to ambient light or excessive noise? With their range of high-quality masks, MANTA Sleep has the solution. They've been kind enough to send me one of their masks, and it's honestly been a major upgrade to my sleeping habits. Their products are really comfortable, and you can even listen to music, podcasts, or lore videos as you fall asleep, thanks to their Bluetooth speakers. If you're interested, check out the link in the description, and use promo code LORETURTLE for 10% off your next purchase. Thanks again to MANTA Sleep for sponsoring this video. And now, back to Elden Ring. In Legacy dungeons, Torrent usually doesn't answer the Tarnished summons. There's a fascinating exception to that rule, though, which many players don't know about. In a small room of the Spiral Rise, near the top of Enarilim, Torrent responds to our call. This might seem like a developer oversight at first glance, but there may be a plausible explanation, hidden in the details of the room. A Reddit user named Crypticnewt posits a credible theory, according to which Torrent's ashes are stored in this room. After all, Torrent is a horned spirit, presumably born in the Land of Shadow. So, it makes sense that his ashes would be revered by the Hornsent. There's even a bowl of fruits displayed before the altar, reminiscent of Torrent's favorite treats. Melina values his wisdom, so it's certainly possible that he recognizes the purpose of this room. That would explain his appearance here, in a small room where the Tarnished doesn't need his help. A similar room can be found in the Tower settlement, near one of Miquella's crosses. Its entrance is flanked by lion statues, and there's another urn of ashes lying inside. According to Crypticnewt's theory, these might be the ashes of Serosh, the spectral lion perched on Godfrey's shoulders. We don't know much about Serosh's past, so it's possible that he was a sacred beast of the Hornsent, before he became a counselor of the Golden Lineage. As we make our way inside the Academy of Realocaria, we pass through the Church of the Cuckoo. To the right of its entrance, there's a secret balcony, hidden behind an illusion. It appears to be a private cemetery, separate from the Academy's graveyard. Based on their appearance, these coffins likely belong to nobles, possibly members of Radagon's entourage. They could also be past leaders of the Academy, several of which are depicted on paintings. Given the sorcerer's connection to the cosmos, it makes sense that their graves would be laid out beneath the stars, rather than below ground or inside the church. As a side note, there's another detail worth mentioning in the Academy. During her prime, Renala used a glintstone scepter to channel her magic. We find it displayed beneath her portrait, near the debate hall. Its glintstone crystal looks depleted, probably because it hasn't been used in a very long time. Late at night, a rare event can occur at the Bestial Sanctum. After being fed a few death roots, Gurranq can sometimes be seen outside the temple, howling in the direction of the Erdtree. Based on some of his voice lines in Farumazula, it seems he feels responsible for the events of the Shattering.
Forgive me, Marika. I will not have it stolen from me again.
These howls carry his grief and remorse, the sorrowful plight of Marika's loyal half-brother, who carries on his task long after the world fell to ruin. In the early hours of the morning, another interesting event takes place. For no apparent reason, the walking mausoleums suddenly stop moving, crouching down as if they just fell asleep. A rather curious behavior, implying they're more than simple constructs, but lingering spirits of sentient beings, aware of their environment. The mausoleums contain the remains of demigods, so perhaps their spirits are possessing their own tombs. The events that led to their demise might be related to the sun, and the mysterious eclipse mentioned in the lore of Castle Saul. In the lands between, the brightest source of light is the Erdtree. Contrary to popular belief, though, there's also a star illuminating the planet during the day. This sun is often overcast by clouds, making it difficult to notice. The best way to catch a glimpse is by looking to the west, in the early hours of the evening. We can also see it in the Shadow Realm, around the same time of day. Interestingly, it used to be revered by men, long before the age of the Erdtree. We know this thanks to the Sun Realm Shield, which mentions a city crowned by the sun. All that's left of that civilization are skeletons, reanimated by Godwyn's curse. The illustration engraved on the shield depicts a giant sun, much bigger than the one we see in-game. In a world where gravity can be controlled by magic, the fading relevance of the sun may be more than a natural phenomenon. If you enjoy my content, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.